Chapter 8. Most definitely final dungeon. Are you sure it's a good idea to bring them to your house? Juniper asked, once his Twilight put the last of the perfectly sharpened pencils on the table in her room. Your friends could be a bit, I say, uncivilized. That's because you haven't seen Shining Armor's friends playing, Twilight replied. And in case something goes wrong, remember, this is my laboratory. She grabbed a scalpel that was lying on one of the shelves. Mischief makers will be experimented on. Then I'm already starting to make a cover story in case Nemen or Sugarcoat disappears. Juniper shook her head. Maybe alien abduction? Though extra aliens would probably kick Nemen out once they find out she doesn't mind being probed. As for Sugarcoat... Wait a minute, I gotta tell Sunny that we're meeting at my place. Twilight walked to one of the laptops and turned on the communicator. After a while, she saw the inside of Sunny's room on the webcam. It wasn't a pretty sight. Energy drink cans were everywhere, and Sunny was nodding off with her face on the keyboard, wearing a pink headset and cat ears. Hi, thanks for the bits, Sunny muttered, her eyes shooting open. Oh, it's you, Twilight. I've been streaming chats the whole night. Someone pays to watch this? You have no idea. Sunny yawned and looked at the energy drink cans, picking some of them up. Also, I know we're meeting at your place. Lemon said her carpet had a Friday night accident, and as you can see, my room had the same fate. Are you spying on tonight? Juniper exclaimed. People think covering the camera works, but they never remember about the speakers, Sunny replied. It's okay. I have access to her computer too, Twilight said. It's a bit of a challenge going on for years now. I start having trust issues, Juniper muttered. Don't worry. We don't know about this video you've made with your boyfriend. Also, I hope you're not allergic to Greek food because my mathematical model says there's a 98.8 chance that Indigo will bring heroes in Baklava. Sunny took a sip from one of the cans and winced. Ew, seems I've already drank this one. How so? Twilight asked. You know, I didn't want to leave the computer, so I used the can when I had to. Juniper slammed the laptop shut. Sorry, my supply of plain bleeds hasn't arrived yet. You better get some before the evening then, Twilight said. Juniper shook her head. Oh, I surely will. Lemon, Sour, and Sunny were the first to arrive. Lemon's battered Yugo finally got repaired, and although driving it was still an unforgettable experience, at least it was in working condition. Sugarcoat arrived soon after, but Indigo was nowhere to be found. Juniper looked at the clock and at the door, but it didn't bring Indigo to Twilight's house. Does she even know where you live? Even if she didn't, she'd somehow get here, Sugarcoat replied. You could drop Indigo in the middle of Alaska and she'd find a way back home. Quite unlike Sunny, I'm afraid. If I ended up in Alaska, I'd just get internet connection in the middle of nowhere. Call the cavalry and wait for them while drinking moonshine with grizzly bears, Sunny replied. Moonshine? Sugarcoat shook her head. We're talking Alaska, not Siberia. Joke's on you. There are no grizzly bears in Siberia, Sunny replied. Also reminds me of a joke, but the punchline is in Russian. As in, a bunch of Americans go hunting with Russians. I hope Indigo comes before it becomes unbearable, Lemon muttered. Sour groaned. Just had to say that, didn't you? Although, while we're at it, my favorite bears are two white ones. Why? Juniper asked. Because they're bipolar, Sour chuckled. For the record, only I could tell this one. Now it's Juniper's turn to groan. Why did I even ask? If you were to get a guy, you'd get kicked in the ball bearings with this one. One more pun and I'm leaving, Sugarcoat married. Exit? Pursued by a bear? Twilight asked. Sugarcoat sent her a death glare. Niet, my Sirali, Sunny said. I guess he didn't get it. Maybe it'll surprise you, but the only person I know who spoke Russian was my great-grandmother. As she was so old, she probably learned it from Rasputin. Sugarcoat shrugged. Well, now you know me too, Sunny said. I mean, I talked to a hacker from Kanti Masik a few times and I started to learn. Before Sugarcoat could respond, Lemon's phone started to ring. Rather let out a loud guitar riff. Lemon picked it up. Indigo? Where are you? Wait, I'll turn on the speaker. Something stopped me for a moment, Indigo said. Do you want some deer kebab? I also get borek with fieta, but I don't remember which of you is allergic to fieta. Sugarcoat is allergic to everything, Sunny said, looking at her wrist device and tapping the screen furiously. Were you supposed to get Greek food today?
How do you know? Indigo asked. The Greek place was closed, so I went to the Turkish bar just to piss off the Greeks. I think they don't like each other, right?
Huh? Sugarcoat raised her eyebrows. I didn't know you were aware that those countries exist, not to mention relations between them.
I only know because of food and sports, Indigo replied. Sarah should know that too. There's that Greek dude, Achilles or something, won gold medal in archery at the Olympics, I think. Then he had a tendon injury.
Let's say you're in the right geographical region and leave it at that. Twilight shook her head. Also, I'll get mixed sauces, no onion. Same, Lemon said. Also, come here quick. The girls are becoming unbearable. Sugarcoat sighed. Lemon, shut up. What took you so long? Sunny asked when Indigo finally showed up in Twilight's room, carrying several bags with her. Did you go to Istanbul to buy this kebab or what?
I got stopped at the border between Greece and Turkey. Indigo rolled her eyes. Pork with curry sauce for you, right? Did I miss something?
Sunny speaks Russian somehow, Sarasweet replied. Although I still can't believe that you and Lemon know sign language. I mean, Lemon's slightly crazy about helping people and stuff, but you?
Why is everyone surprised I know things? Indigo asked. Sugarcoat and Sunny know 10 ways to fuck you up whenever you move a chess piece. Lemon can hear a difference between two notes that sound exactly the same, and I know the location of ammo racks in every tank in the world. Also sign language.
She made a complicated gesture with one hand, holding a bob with the other. Did you just tell Sour to get stuffed? Lemon asked.
Maybe, Indigo smirked. Let's get back to the game, okay? Where's Hurts and his jelly company? Fafnir asked.
The corridor was getting lower and lower, and the barbarian kept bumping his head against the ceiling.
I need to kick someone's ass.
Grey Mouser coughed. At this point, we may be getting a beating from an ogre defending a swamp, you know. Not to mention our enemy is Dagon. Dagon Smagon, Sarah muttered. Do you think demons can resist a well-aimed arrow to the face?
Actually, they could shove the bullet up your ass before you even think of shooting it, Gamark replied. Correct means that it's a bit like shooting a god. You get a lightning bolt from the face at a turn.
I like to see that. Charlie looked at Sour and smirked. The Sour Elf is in desperate need of getting something shoved up her ass. What are you talking about? Sarah asked. This gesture looked familiar. Charlie chuckled.
Seems very interesting in your bow, Fafnir said,
tripping over something and knocking over a stalagmite.
That's something gross.
It's a rotten skin kite, Grey Mouse replied. Must have been lying here since the 3rd edition.
I also found those funny rocks, the barbarian said.
Don't touch this! Sarah exclaimed, her eyes widened. She grabbed a bow and looked to the ceiling, aiming at the darkest spots.
Why?
Those are hook horror eggs, you moron, Sarah replied.
Shit! Gamark backpedaled. Gamark reckons the mommy is still not here.
The hook horror, the cultists, the whole fucking menagerie, Sarah said, aiming her bow at the ceiling. Guess it's time for a tactical retreat. Charlene backpedaled, hiding behind the stalagmites. Fafnir followed her, bumping to more rocks and cursing loudly. Shut up, Sarah muttered. I think the cultists are somewhere here. And not to mention, I can't see the hook horror. What if we stick the hook horror on the cultists? Grey Mouser asked. 2 birds with 1 stone, or rather, 2 heretics with 1 called beast. No, we're not doing this, Sarah exclaimed. We'll be in the middle of the fight, between the cultists and the hook horrors. Also, how are you even getting to steal eggs from the nest without getting cut to pieces?
Well, we're already here, Fafnir said. Also, in case you don't know, the omelet made of hook horror's eggs is a barbarian delicacy, but only if you steal the eggs from the nest yourself. It tastes like hornets and may kill you, but if you can't stomach it, you can't call yourself a man. Also, it's good for chest hair.
You only made that up,
Sarah said. Only the bit about the hornets. They're sweeter. The barbarian smiled sleeplessly.
Sarah rolled her eyes. No, we're not doing this. I can't believe we're doing this. Hunter admired, picking up a dwarf's skull and looking at it. Years of preparations, and we have to chase a bunch of idiots across the dungeon. We should have executed him on sight, Finian Tea Leaf said. He was bruised and battered, but unlike Peregrine Toscobble, he was able to walk. Especially Jolly Sockfield Baggins. He's so evil. Oh, you don't have to tell me about being evil, Husband muttered. But I agree, they're too dangerous to be kept alive.
We'll find them, skin them, or my name is in Hansren Hunsfot. He spun dramatically, but the mood was immediately ruined by something large and slimy swatting on his head. The rest of his detachment, mostly drows and half-orcs, laughed. Hunter wants the slime off his face and winced, looking at. What's that? Finian asked. Can you put it sit? No. Hunter looked at the slime on the floor and saw a small, bug-like creature thrashing in it. Don't know how I think about it. I prefer it to be sit. What is it? Finian asked. The good news is, those guys are already dead. Hunter said, the bad news is, we'll soon follow them if. He was deafened by an agonizing roar, echoing across the caves. He raised his bow, looking at the place the egg fell from his soldier's back pouch, keeping the tight formation. He looked around. Still the sight of Sarah jumping from the corridor above them on a somersault wasn't something he expected, especially since he was followed by a huge mass of chitlin and long, sharp claws. Fafir! I'll kill you! Sarah exclaimed as the entrance of the tunnel burst into flames. Charlene, Gamork, and Fafir darted out of it, followed by 2 more hook cars. Fire! Hunter shouted, firing the bow at the nearest hook car. The arrow bounced off the chitlin armor, but a few more arrows found its mark, and the hook car thrashed, hitting a few cultists and beheading one of them. Hunter turned back and saw Sarah shooting more arrows at the hook car. Aren't you with them? He asked. Well, for once, I like not being dead, Fafir replied, firing the arrow at the other hook car's eye. It screeched and waved its claws, almost cutting Fafir in half. The barbarian dropped to the floor and pierced the monster's underbelly with a sword, yanking it out and cutting out the hand of a cultist, trying to stab him in the back. Yeah, I could go with that. Hudson shrugged, slowly reaching for the knife he had his sleeve. Maybe you should leave them and... He grabbed the knife and tried to stab Sour, only to hear his blade hit one of Sour's hunting knives. Cooperation of a side of treason, Sour smirked. I'd rather be open about my feelings. She raised the hunting knife and tried to stab the drow, but jumped back. Sarah charged at him, slitting the throat of a cultist trying to stop her. Hunter grabbed a sword, barely dodging one of Gamork's bombs, and rushed through the flames to reach Sour. She dodged the blow and jumped over Herzen's head, landing on the hook horror's back and smirking. I think it's easy to be open about your feelings when you're on top of a death machine. Hunter muttered, spinning the sword and causing the hook horror's claws to sink the blade into the creature's head. The monster screamed, dropping Sour onto the floor. Letting out a foul cry, Hunter ran towards Sour and raised his sword. He was about to stab the elf when he felt the sword suddenly getting heavier, almost falling out of his hands. He turned back and saw Fafir holding his sword down. Flames, dying cultists, screechy hook horrors made for a nice background for this unforgettable picture. Hunter frowned. You. My name is Ingo Montoya. Fafir said, you killed my father. Prepare to die. With these words, he punched the drow, who flew across the room, hit the wall, and lay there motionless. Did he kill your father? Sarah said. No, but I always wanted to say that, the barbarian chuckled. Let's see how the rest are doing. I see Gamork and Charlene brought in the fireworks. Sarah grabbed her bow and shot at the fleeing cultists. Where's that Mother Nature's illegitimate son, Grey Mouser? Fafir shrugged. We lost him when running away from the hook cars. He might be dog food now, Sarah said. Also, you should totally name your next character Ingo Montoya. We should look for him, though. Fafir dodged a burning cultist running around in circles, and almost tripped over a dead hook horror. Is anyone alive here anyway? Charlene dropped onto her knees in front of the barbarian, panting heavily. She raised her hand. Her soul's too shaky to properly express her thoughts. If Gamork doesn't stop throwing bombs at people on fire while we're underground, we could choose between getting fired, exploding, or getting crushed by a ceiling and suffocating. Didn't you start the fire? Fafir chuckled. It was always burning. Charlene smiled sheepishly, since the world's been turning. A mystic indeed. Fafir shook his head. Where's Gamork? Gamork found someone alive, Gamork said, dragging someone short, clad in black torn robe. For a moment, Sarah, Charlene, and Fafir thought it was Grey Mouser. But once Gamork turned the body to around to lie on his back, it turned out to be a different halfling. Finian Tea Leaf! Sarah exclaimed. How come people keep dying around you and you still turn up alive? It's harder to hit a halfling, Finian muttered. Sarah turned to Fafir and chuckled. That explained why Grey Mouser was your only companion. All the taller ones got hit by missed sword blows. Maybe. Barbarian groaned. Anyway, we better fight our necromancer. Actually, Finian chuckled. My old body sucked already, but after getting trampled by hook horrors, it became rather tedious to use. Like I've always been preparing for this. So I became the pissed off ghost guided by an unconditional faith with Arizona. So let's say that poor Vinny and T. Lee failed the charisma check pretty hard. Green Mouser? Fafir asked. Huh, now that's a feat. Fucking halflings are immortal now. Sour shook her head. Is Vinny and T. Lee still there? Kamark asked, looking at the body. Yeah, he's pissed. So far, I basically put him in the basement, but he may get out at some point. Charlene, you want to see something? He asked, looking at the innkeeper's daughter, who furrowed her eyebrows.
Son of a bitch!
Lemon exclaimed. What's wrong? Sugarcoat asked.
When I die for real. But you just get some other halfling to play with?
Lemon groaned and turned to Twilight.
How does she even do that? Well, if I didn't find Finnegan, I'd possess Indigo, Sugarcoat said. That was my backup plan in case of death, you know.
Why didn't I have a backup plan in case of death? Lemon asked.
You're not insane, Lemon replied. I'm pretty sure Sugarcoat is already planning on screwing us over and turning us into zombies, or run with the money. I say she's far more pragmatic, Twilight chuckled. She'll turn you into the undead to help her carry the money.
Tyrver smirked. If you two ever decide to become supervillains, just give me my mirror back. Then I could turn into a huge angry movie star.
Twilight could turn into a demon that rips holes in time and space without the mirror, Zuckergirl said. Or at least, she was able to do this before, but then she got struck with the magic friendship beam or something. Just in time to get Lemon a new pair of underwear and go to a party. Hey! Lemon exclaimed. If I recall correctly, I wasn't the only one who needed a new pair of underwear. I could tell she spent the whole day wearing the same panties, Sarah saw Sugarcoat glare. Anyway, Sugarcoat's kind of undead now. The cultist party got out, and Hundred's apparently down to 1 hit point somehow. Do we heal him or interrogate him? Chirper shrugged.
Last time you and Lemon tried to interrogate me, my head exploded.
Sarah, we'll be gentle this time.
Sarah smirked in a way that made Chirper think of bathroom doors and fire axes. I have a strange sense of deja vu, Hundred muttered, waking up only to find that his party had been wiped out and that he was lying in the ruins of a scorched underground hall, surrounded by carcasses of dead hook horrors. He looked up and saw 2 people looking up at him, or rather, an elf with a psychotic grin and a plain-looking girl wearing a Calvin's robe. What do you want?
Information, Sarah replied. Either information or put an arrow in your ass and spin it. But the choice is largely up to you.
Where do we find Dagon?
Charlie made a few quick checkers. What did she say?
Something like, we don't want to find Dagon, we want to find the gold chest and run away from Forest Dagon as possible, Fafir replied. This is also my opinion.
Yes, but if we run away with Dagon's gold, he'll rip us a new one.
Sarah rolled her eyes.
Remember Sinbad?
Oh, great. So we'll go to Dagon, let him rip us up a new one so he doesn't have to bother going halfway across the world.
Grey Mouser moaned. Great plan. How do we exactly want to kill Dagon?
By having someone more powerful on our side, Sarah replied. Aren't you powerless with Threazardune?
I think he's getting more and more amused by my exploits. Suddenly, Grey Mouser's left hand raised, flipping Sarah off. Grey Mouser looked at it and smacked it with his right hand. Don't know why he does this.
How's reply furrowed his eyebrows? Do all halflings look the same, or are you Finian tea leaf?
I borrowed his body, Grey Mouser replied. Also, you can shut up, unless you can tell us how to kill Dagon or convince him not to rip us a new one.
Only the Chancellor can talk to Dagon, Hunter replied. Also, while we're at it, our gold stash is located near the Chancellor's chambers.
That's convenient, Kamark muttered. So just go there, beat up the grandpa, tell him to ask her to tell Dagon to bug it off and take the gold. This would be simple.
Tell that to Aegon, Kohler, Stacey Tin, and Kith Fisto, Fafnir said. Who? The Jedi who tried to arrest the Chancellor in Mess Window. The barbarian smiled teefishly. Old barbarians said this tale happened a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
One more time, Indigo. One more time, and you're getting Raft Eye.
Chill out, Sarah said. It's not Star Wars. He can't be this dangerous. She turned to her husband. Can he? He talks with Dagon as an equal.
Take a guess.
Yeah, we should be fine, the Grey Master said. I mean, we could always end up as undead. Afterwards, we could do crazy stuff without being afraid of death. Or our souls can be consumed by some insane abomination, Zara replied. We need to approach carefully. After getting stabbed in the back a few times, the guy should be easier to defeat.
I hate stealth-based missions, Fafnir exclaimed. Also, how can it be stealthy if we have to drag this elf parody along with our guide? He'll betray us on the first occasion.
Do we really need him? Charlene ended the signs by snapping her fingers, causing a small flame to appear above her hand. What did she say?
Gamork had no idea, but he knows she enjoys a good roast, Gamork replied, smirking. But I guess this won't be necessary.
Why is it so dark here?
Fafnir whispered, trying to walk through a narrow corridor with the grates of a battleship navigating its way through a bathtub. So, inferior humans with no night vision could ask stupid questions. Sarah whispered back as he looked around. Where's Hunsrin? Charlene waved her hand, pointing at the drow, who was only smiling at a stack of coins. After being forced to drink one of the potions Gamork had in his luggage, walking and smiling at things he most could do. What did you give to him anyway? Greymaster asked.
One of Gamork's failed attempts at creating Grease, Gamork replied. Gamork means it works as Grease if we don't mind seeing dragons and inheriting it. Also, sometimes it causes bloody diarrhea, but it seems drows don't exhibit these symptoms.
So, if he'll stop being stealthy, Fafnir muttered. Also, look at all those coins! He grabbed a handful of something under his armor. Shut up, Sarah whispered. Stop bringing with those coins or Chancellor will hear us!
Isn't this the point? Barbarian asked.
No, the point is to see him before he sees us and summons an army of cultists, Greymaster replied. We ran out of hookers, you know.
Okay, Fafnir looked around. Where's Secretly's office? Or does he have business hours?
I assure you, my office is open all the time.
A cold voice echoed across that half full of coins.
Also, you better give me back my money, you stupid oaf.
The lights turned on, revealing a man in a dark, stylish robe, carrying a long stick. Sarah raised her bow and fired at him, but he blocked the air with his weapon effortlessly.
Nice try. He chuckled. I even let you go with the money, but the matter of principles, you know. How am I going to terrorize the whole continent if someone hears I paid a bunch of imbeciles to leave me alone? I already had a lot of work with Sinbad.
He rolled his eyes. Just great, Sarah muttered. Some fucking bureaucrat.
Hardly.
Chancellor smirked.
Though I admit, taking over the world would probably be impossible without some bureaucracy. I already had to gather all the money, as if the power of Dragon wasn't enough for your conquests.
Charlene turned to Fafnir. Should I fire him?
Just try.
The Chancellor chuckled. Alright, we gotta focus and attack them all at once, Greymaster said, or else...
Fafnir, son of Owen!
Fafnir exclaimed, raising the axe and charging the Chancellor. The halfling shrugged. Well, this works too. The Chancellor spun his staff, blocking the axe and another Sour's arrows. Gamork grabbed a handful of coins and threw them at the opponent, who didn't even notice this. Meanwhile, Charlene just attacked him with fire. Don't burn us, you idiot! Sarah exclaimed, sliding a pile of coins and landing in front of Gamork in a definitely not-elf pose. Does he have something more useful? She asked, like grenades or something? At least a coin launcher?
Gamork will see what Gamork can do,
Gamork replied, producing a pouch with some grenades. He took one of them, laying in his hand and tossed the entire pouch in the general direction of the flames. Explosions shattered them with coins, ripping apart the cave's wolf apart. Sarah dodged the falling stalactite, dropped on the ground next to Fear, screamed. As he parted his armor, and the blade of his axe was glowing red from the heat. Barbarian looked around and looked to Gamork.
We lost contact. Charlie said something like, this dumb cunt Sonny's trying to kill me again, you know?
Gamork doesn't know who is Sonny, the half-orc shrugged. Did he at least succeed? The flames disappeared, and Chancellor stood in the middle of molten gold, smirking a bit despite horrible burns covering his body.
You fools, he exclaimed. Did you think this is my final form?
He closed his eyes, lowered his head as a mask of grotesque tentacles erupted from his body, twitching and coiling around the cave in a twisted mass of deformed flesh.
Great! Twilight's a fan of Dragon Ball!
Fafnir muttered.
Brace yourselves! This is gonna be a long fight!